The world feels so unpredictable right now with the economy and the way things are going with the war. It feels like things are just going to be rough. But that's rough, not over. Because at times like this, you have to understand that the government isn't coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. And so you have to find ways in your own life to build certainty when things seem so uncertain. And that's exactly what we did. About 3 years ago, me and my fiance started our journey to become financially free. And like most people, our first thought was, let's just find ways to get rich and let's do it quick. Okay, that last part was all me. And as you could imagine, because I tried to do things so quickly, I ran into so many headaches. I set myself back so much, and I found myself behind the timeline that I initially set for myself to actually get out of debt. In hindsight, I realized it's just because that I was trying to get lucky when I should have just been learning the game so that I can actually get better. It looked like I was waking up every single day and I had a new idea, a new thing that I was chasing, which means that I was taking new shots over and over and over. And what I thought was me searching or trying to find some way to do things, ultimately came down to me just wasting 18 months. And so when I look back, I think now that if I knew then what I know now, that I could have saved myself those 18 months and I could have been a lot further in my journey or just a lot closer to being actually financially free. But it's all good because I didn't have it completely wrong. No, I shouldn't have been trying to get rich quick, but finding other ways for us to increase our income was definitely the right direction that we should have been headed into. So after chasing my tail for 18 months, we went back to the drawing board and we came up with 3 options or 3 ways that we could actually increase our income a little quicker. The first one was what everybody does, right? We could ask our bosses for raises. Now, it worked for my fiance, but the raises were only about 75 cents. And for me, I was a server, so a raise just meant come to work more. And then the second one was that we could just find more jobs, which this one we actually did do. Both of us got a new job. She didn't get a second job. She got a new job, which almost doubled her pay. And then I ended up getting a second job, a second server job, while still doing my side hustle so that we can increase that. But it wasn't as effective as the third option. And the third option was for us to just find ways to keep more of the money that we were already getting. And this one worked the best because to date, we ended up saving about 70% of the monthly expenses that we were spending. We actually get to keep and hold. While, yes, option 2, while we were increasing the amount of money that we were making. To put it simply, we were able to give ourselves a 70% raise. Now, as I promised in this video, what I want to do is I want to give you 3 of the many ways that we used in order for us to give ourselves that 70% income. Because I think it'll be very, very vital for people right now in this time with all the economic uncertainty and the way that the world is moving. So I'll just jump right into it. Number 1 is utilities. Now, utilities for me go into this category that's like, I call them like the non-negotiables, right? And it's that category where it doesn't matter what the cost is. It doesn't matter, what's going on. You have to pay for these things, right? And so that comes down to things like electricity, your AC and heat, and surprisingly, the gas in your car. Low key, that's why I don't agree with people checking gas prices, because to me, whether the price is $1 or $5, you still have to get from point A to point B. So it makes no sense to check the gas prices and get mad about that. Just fill the tank up and then keep moving. At least then you can get somewhere where you can try to make that money back. But that's for another video. Anyways, as far as utilities, the way that we saved was I was able to attack our light bill first. Now, I consider lights a non-negotiable. I think that's the most obvious. Also, there's not another company that competes with the company that we have, and so we absolutely have to use the company that we have or the company that we're using within our area. But there are ways for us to save. Initially, I was spending about $300 a month for this apartment, which is crazy because it's a 900 square foot apartment and it's just the 2 of us. But I was spending nearly $300 a month. Partly due to the draft in the windows, but the apartment complex did come out and change all of the windows, and that helped a little bit. But what really helped was I was able to get onto a plan with that electric company, which allowed me to save a lot of money. Now, I don't know how your local electric company works, but here where I am, they offer us an app. And on the app, you can get on there and they offer you about 4 to 5, I'm not sure, different plans that allow you to save. There's some for if you run hot and you typically use more of the AC in the summer and less of the heat in the winter, where you're going to save more money in the winter, or vice versa. Or there's even ones for those off seasons like fall and spring. I chose one that gives us the average throughout the whole year. That also means that every single week they send us an update about this week, rather we spent more this week or we spent less this week, so that it can keep updating that average. It also allows us to track and see, hey, we left the heater on this week, or hey, the AC was on a little bit more. So our bill, the average of our bill could be increasing a little bit over time. Overall, that took my bill from over $300 to about $130 every single month. I will be honest with you, in the winter, there are about 2 months when the bill does get a little higher because of this bill, because I'm a person that runs cold, but ultimately this bill is significantly cheaper and it has saved us about $170. Okay, so number 2, the internet bill. Now, I don't consider the internet to be a non-negotiable, not because you don't need it, but because there are multiple companies that offer it. And also you're able to negotiate with the company that you currently are to get a lower rate. Necessarily, there's not really a monopoly. And so to me, it's not a non-negotiable because there are ways around it. Now, you're going to think I'm lying, but I promise you I did a video on this about 6 months ago. My internet bill was also $300 every single month. But if I'm being honest, it wasn't just for internet. When I first received the internet, I was told that if I bundled it with cable, a home phone line, and the internet, that I would save the most money that I could save. And so I ended up spending about $300. And I did this about 4 years straight. I never opened the cable box and I never hooked up any phone to the phone line. And so I was just paying for it. And it took for me to call and get very angry and speak to customer service after customer service when I was able to finally get that bill down from $300 to $100 flat. Again, this is one of those bills where you're able to negotiate with the company that you're with in order to get a lower price on your bill. Now, I'm not condoning this, but I did call, get angry, threaten to leave, whatever I needed in order for me to save that money. Anyways, fast forward a year or about 2 to 3 months ago, and that internet kept going out. It was really, really bad. And so I called customer care again and I spoke to a really sweet lady. And as we were going through and she was trying to figure things out and figure out why the internet kept going out, she said that they were having problems. We also went over my bill and I realized that they had been charging me an extra $5 for almost 6 months. And I had no idea because everything was on automatic pay. And when I asked about the $5, a long conversation came down to it was a company-wide thing that they decided that they could, so they should. I know I'm petty, but that pissed me off. Bad internet and you're just secretly increasing my bill. So I started searching. And because like I said, we live in a 900 square foot apartment and it's just 2 of us. So we're able to use internet from my mobile company, T-Mobile, without it being a major issue about speeds and things like that. So once T-Mobile had a promotion, we waited. I was able to go to the T-Mobile store, get the internet and plug it in within the same day and return the other ones to the company that we had initially. Overall, that took my bill from $100 down to $35 every single month with their highest speed because of promotion and discounts because I'm already a customer. So now I'm going from $300 to $35 every single month. All right. And the last one. The last one is probably the most or least practical, but it's the most fun. It's also the most petty. Now, I'm not one to be cheap. I actually have this saying that you either buy nice or you buy twice. But when it comes to certain things, I think that is very, very important, especially when you're trying to reach your goal of being financially free. And one of those things that I agree on is when it comes to going out to eat. Now, of course, like anybody else, we cut out going out to eat almost 70%, which means that we're saving just by not going out to eat much about $200 to $300 a month already. And yes, we probably should have cut out 100%, but we didn't because we do live this cave-like existence because we're trying to get out of debt. And so sometimes having a date or getting out and able to just kind of stretch your legs and your arms just for a moment, it definitely helps so that you can continue on in this journey here. Now, the 30% of the time that we do go out, there are 2 things that we do. Number 1 is we always check. We try to opt for restaurants where you don't necessarily have to tip. That sounds bad, but I was a server for 10 years. I literally just quit. It's not about not tipping. Sometimes the service isn't even that good, but also it's just because things could take a while and we're just not in that space right now. We're huge tippers, both of us being ex-servers. So whenever we do tip, typically it's 20 to 30% of the bill. But secondly, what we do is we go out and we just share one entree. Also, I think that pisses off the server. But we share one entree because typically it's enough food for both of us and we have health goals at the same time and the food's not always the best. But that means that now we're paying for one entree instead of 2. And when we do have to tip, we're tipping on that one entree and not on the full bill. So when a bill could have been $100 plus tip, maybe $120, $125, Now the bill goes down from 120, 125 to $50 for the one entree, and then that 20 to 25%, 30% tip only puts us at $60, $65, which means that we're literally still spending half of what we would have been spending at first. And to be completely honest with you, I don't remember the last time that we spent $60 going out to eat for the both of us. Typically, it's like $20 to $30 because we just know what we like. Okay, that's it. I really, really hope this helped you. And if not, I hope it at least helped you pass a little bit of time. And if you liked it, just give me a little thumbs up or subscribe button. But also, if this did help you and you want me to go a little further or do more of these, could you just put it in the comments? Because we have so many ways that we've been able to save money. And honestly, it's transformed our lives. And I'm just at this point where it's like, I know we're still on our journey, but I feel like we can help other people if we just share what's going on in our journey. Thank y'all so much. Love.